I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and an overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. In today's episode, I just want to talk about something that I've started to finally come to grips with, like, especially over the past month, and that's your peace is going to disturb some of the people around you. And you have to accept that because what I'm learning is your peace, especially if you've never had it before, comes with boundaries. It comes with conditions. It comes with requirements. There's certain things that you're no longer going to allow around you. There's certain things that you're no longer going to do. You're not going to operate in certain places. You're not going to, just certain things you're not going to do, and there's certain things that you're absolutely going to do. And there's certain type of energies that you don't want around you. So even to be around you is going to require a certain type of energy, a certain type of attitude, respect, all of these things. And so those are the things that come with you finding peace, and it's going to rub some people the wrong way. It's going to disturb them because they're used to you operating at a low for they may be used to you operating at a low frequency, or they're used to you being a certain type of way, and they're used to being able to be a certain type of way around you, and you be able to feed their negativity. So if they come around complaining, they know that you're going to feed it. If they come around wanting to gossip, they know that you're going to feed into that you're going to feed into all of their negative things, their negative traits, their negative attitudes. And so, once you start to find your peace, you start to find you start to put your happiness together, and it's going to make you realize that certain people just can't be around you. So when they see you in your peace, and they see you in your happiness, and they see you in your joy, your light, your comfort, your energy, walking your purpose, it's going to disrupt something in them. It's going to be something in them that's just like, this ain't right. You done switched up. You done changed. You're not who you used to be. And for them, that's going to be a bad thing. But for you, that's a great thing. That means that you're moving in the right direction. You're leveling up. You're reaching new levels, new heights. You're going towards uncharted territory. And they're so used to you staying in that pool of negativity with them, that when you're no longer in that pool and you're no longer willing to operate in that pool of negativity, then that becomes a problem. Now all of a sudden they think that you think you're better than them, or you're too good for them, and things like that, when really you just refuse to move backwards. You refuse to go back to who you were, now that you see how peaceful it is, or how good it feels to move forward and to be doing new things and to be accelerating in the things that you want to do. Why would you want to go backwards? Why would you want to take a step back? And especially when you know what's back there, you already know where you've come from. You've been in it for years. You've been in that pool. You know what that pool does. You can actually, now that you're out of it, you can look at it and see that it's nothing but quicksand. And once you finally get out of there, there's no reason for you to go back. And I think that you start to realize, well, at least I started to realize, that the only thing that could make me go back would be continuing to hang around certain people and doing certain things that I was doing before. And as I've talked about on here before, I know how easy it is for me to fall into something comfortable. I know how easy it is for me to fall back into bad habits because they're comfortable, because that's what I know. That's what I'm used to. I know what to expect. So it's easy. So I know how easy it is for me to fall back into that. And so what I've realized is when I start setting standards for myself and requirements for myself, it started to rub some people the wrong way, and it changed the way we interacted with each other. It changed our conversations. It changed, just everything, because they started to they started feeling a way. And for a second, because of me, because again, I'm new to this, so for a second I had to kind of look at myself and check myself, like, am I doing something wrong? Is it me? Am I changing? Am I acting fake? Am I not being genuine? And what I had to realize was you spend so long being something that you're not, that you start to believe that. So once you start to lift that veil from over your eyes and realize, okay, this isn't who I am, this isn't what I want to do, this isn't where I want to be. And now you start working towards who you want to be, where you want to go, the things that you want to do. People don't recognize you because you've been something that you really aren't for so long, that that's what they know you as. They know you as the person. When I come with the negativity, DJ gonna come with me. When I come with the BS, DJ gonna BS with me. When I come with all this foolishness, DJ's gonna amplify my foolishness. And so now that I'm no longer trying to participate and operate in those things, it's disturbing some people. And I had to learn to be okay with that. And it took a little time because, again, some of these people I've been knowing for a long time. And like I've said before, comfortable around them, know them, so you get used to life with these people around you and just talking to you, being in your circle, being around you all the time. And it just made me realize that that's not the best thing for me. And it made me realize like how much not only was I holding myself back, but I was allowing other people to hold me back. But I also realized that again, I was just blinded by what I thought was reality. I thought that was who I was. And it was just like, no, that's just who I chose to be out of convenience, because I didn't want to rock the boat of this, of my day-to-day life, because I didn't want to commit to something. I didn't want to strive for something because I didn't want to get my hopes up with the expectations of something and then fail at it, or hit a hard patch, a rough patch, and then do what I normally do, which is quit. So it's just kind of like I got used to living life on the sidelines. And so now, been on the sidelines for so long, just watching everybody else pass me by living their life, that the people that I've come to know, they're either on the sideline with me, or, they don't mind while, when they want to take a break from life and sit on the sideline, they expect me to be there. So now that I'm no longer in that position, I'm doing a lot better with getting off the sideline and actually living life, actually going for things that I want, whether it's a job, um, a class, course, whatever, I'm actually applying myself for the things that I want, and I'm not letting the potential of it failing or it blowing up in my face scare me and stop me from doing it. I'm going for it regardless. Whether I get it, don't get it, fail at it, so be successful with it, whatever it may be, I'm not allowing that to stop me from trying. And so it's showing me a lot about myself and the person that I want to be, the person that I'm trying hard to be. But it's also showing me how the people that I've had around me help to contribute to my mindset. And so there's this natural pull that I have, push and pull that I have with them now, because I can feel with some of our conversations, and I can feel with some of the things that they want to do, some of the things that they want to talk about. I can feel it pulling me back to a place where I don't want to be. And so when I'm just trying to cut that off and not have those discussions anymore, I can tell that it's disturbing them. I can tell that the way I'm moving, the way I'm talking is disturbing them. And I get it, right? I can understand that I've been who I've been for as long as I've been him, or that version of myself. So now to have this new version of me that doesn't do, or doesn't operate, or at least doesn't try to operate consciously in those spaces anymore, I can see why that disturbs them. I can see why that gives them a problem, because what it does is now it shines a light on them. now it shines a light on their behavior. And now, even if it wasn't intentional, even if they aren't intentionally thinking, let me go be messy and I want DJ to be messy with me. That may not be the thought, but subconsciously, because it's become a habit now. We've done it for so long, and we've been in that negative pool for so long that it's not. We don't even notice it anymore. It's not a problem. It's not an issue because it's a part of our everyday life. So when somebody comes and shines that light, it's kind of like it's going to naturally make you feel bad. It's going to naturally make you feel a way like. And I get it, for most of us, that natural thing is going to be like, oh, you think you better than me, or you not better than me. We the same, whatever the case may be. And like I said, for a little while, it did have me thinking, like, is it me? Am I being disingenuous with my words, with my actions? And, I had to come to grips with they're still used to that version of me that I'm trying to get away from. They're not used to this version of me. They don't understand that this version of me is striving for peace, is working for my happiness, is working towards goals, fighting hard not to quit and give up just because things aren't going my way, doing my best not to assume, doing my best not to have expectations, or to be glued to my expectations, because me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with expecting something good, or expecting greatness from yourself or from the people around you, or from a program that you're getting ready to enter, whatever the case may be. But I'm not I'm not allowing the expectations to dictate how I move or dictate my emotions when they may fall short of, you know, when reality may fall short of my expectations. But they're not used to me doing those things. And I'm not mad about that, because that hasn't been me. That hasn't been who I am. That hasn't been how I've operated. So I have no problem with people thinking that I'm fake, people thinking that I'm disingenuous, people thinking that, oh, I'm faking for the trying to do the podcast and the do the little clips and things like that. But what I always say on this podcast, and I always say on those clips, is these are things that I struggle with. These are things that I'm working through. I never have said that I'm perfect. I've never said that I figured it out. I've never said that I'm done with my healing. I've never said I'm done with therapy. I'm in the process of doing it all. And while I'm going through the process, I'm posting about it. I'm talking about it. I'm doing podcasts about it. I'm talking in my therapy about the podcast and everything. I'm talking to the people around me about the things that I'm going through. It's helping me to get more comfortable with communicating my emotions, my feelings, my concerns, my desires, things like that. It's helping me to open up and not be so closed off, so I can understand someone who's known me for years looking at me now and thinking, oh, you being fake and you're not keeping it real, whatever the case may be. I can understand that. But what I try to get them to understand, or at least I was at one point in time, I'm not trying to force it now. You either understand or you don't. Hopefully you will at some point. This is going to be my new normal. I'm fighting every single day to make this the new normal for me, where I'm being ambitious. I'm going for the things that I want. I'm not letting the fear of failure, the fear of falling short, the fear of hearing no stop me. Those were things that would stop me dead in my tracks. Like, man, they probably gonna say no. So what's the point of even trying? And y'all would not believe how many things I've missed out on. Or how many times somebody's come to me years later and been like, man, it would have been cool if you would have been on this project, or man, it would have been cool if you would have. And me being so afraid of hearing no, me being so afraid of not being accepted, I never even took the chance. And it was an opportunity waiting for me. But because my fear of hearing no, my fear of being rejected got to me so much, and it got so bad that I would never even try for the opportunity. There's been plenty of jobs, positions, everything, all types of things that I've missed out on, that I found out about years later. could have been something had I opened my mouth, had I said something, had I not been so afraid of failure or so afraid of rejection that I could have got that. And so, again, in talking in therapy, it's making me realize that that fear of no, that fear of rejection has controlled me for so long. Just hearing the word no or wanting something so bad, but just hearing no made me feel like, okay, that's the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? I never felt like there was anything past no. Like once you get the no, there's nothing else beyond that. And what my journey up to this point, especially with therapy, is showing me is that there is still a journey past no. You just may have to take a different route. And that's something that's also been important to me is realizing that my road to my destination doesn't have to take one route. Like we all love that short route. We all love the shortest route, but sometimes we got to take detours and sometimes we got to turn. And that's what this season of my life is really focused on right now is learning how to adapt to change, learning how to pivot, learning how to detour, learning how to take new directions. Like if I had to give a title to this chapter in my life, that would be it, learning how to detour, learning how to take a detour. Um, and I never realized how important that was because for me, it was like you have your goal. It's only one way to get to that goal. And I think that, and I know that that mindset has crippled me for a very long time because it's like I didn't realize, okay, if this door shuts, there may be 12 other doors for you to go through. But in my mind, I only have this one way to get to where I want to get to. So once that door shut, it was like, okay, I got to give up on this and I got to go do something else. But instead, I should have been like, okay, this door shut. Let me see if there's any other doors that I can open or that may already be open that I can walk through to get to where I want to be. And so I had to realize that there is life after no, that there is journey left after no. There's still roads to be traveled after no. You just have to learn how to detour. You have to learn how to pivot. You have to learn how to turn. And so I didn't know that that was not a skill that I had growing up. It was not a skill that I had in my teens, in my 20s, or in the first part of my 30s. It's something that I'm just now learning at 34, 35. But it's okay, right? Because I know I've talked about this too as well. I have to forgive myself for things that I didn't know that I probably should have. You know what I'm saying? I know some people will hear this and be like, you didn't know there wasn't other options. It just was not on my mind. It was like, you do it one way. This is the way I do it. It's the only way that I'm thinking about. If it ain't this, it's not for me. If I can't do it this way and it don't look this way, then that just means it isn't for me. That was my mindset, and that's what crippled me. That's what hurt me. That's what kept me in such a bad place because I did not know how to pivot, and I didn't know the importance of being able to pivot and being able to switch up your thinking and think outside the box and realize that there's so many solutions to this one problem. There's so many ways to get to that one destination you want to get to. It you may not be the way you originally planned, but you can still get there other ways. And so that was something that I did not have. That was a skill that I did not have. It's something that I'm learning now, and it's been obviously it's been amazing, right? To have my eyes open to seeing that there's still a journey to be had, even if you get a no, even if you get two or three no's, there's still potential ways to get to where you want to go, even if you have to go way out of your way to eventually get back on track, and it takes resiliency, which is again another skill, another thing that I did not have. So I'm working on being resilient and being able to fight through the tough times instead of just giving up and sitting on the sidelines. But it's something that I'm pushing for, and I can realize, going back to the original topic, I can realize that that's something that rubs a lot of people the wrong way because, as my mom has said, and I've been hearing it a lot of us like the trauma bond. And so I understand that a lot of my friendships, I won't say a lot, but some of my friendships are built on trauma, and now that I'm doing my best to not hold on to my trauma so tightly because I'm learning how not to identify as my trauma because I know now that I'm not my trauma. I'm not just a kid that whose dad left. I'm not just a kid who didn't get to enjoy a childhood or who had to become an adult way too early, who had to become somewhat of a father way too early. I'm not my trauma. I'm me, and I get to choose what that looks like, what that sounds like, how that acts. And as I start to let go of those things, that trauma, and work through my trauma and heal from my trauma, I'm starting to see certain bonds starting to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And I'm starting to realize it was because the trauma is what held us together. The trauma is what connected us, what made the bond so strong. And so now that I'm starting to deal with my trauma and heal from my trauma, excuse me, some of those relationships aren't aren't probably going to last this journey, this healing journey. These Some of those friendships aren't going to make it through because we only bond over trauma, and I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm not trying to live in that place anymore where I'm giving my trauma so much life and so much control over me. I want to take back my life, and I want to leave my trauma in the past. And I know that it won't be easy. I know that it's going to take time, but I also know that it's worth it because I see it. I'm starting to see results. I'm starting to see when certain people come back into my life and they see that the conversations aren't the same, or they see that the reaction and the energy isn't the same, but they also see me smiling more, me being more happy, me being more outgoing, not so much reserved and in my shell. They see it and it bothers them. And I understand why it bothers them because for them, it's like he's moving on while I'm stuck in this space. And one thing that I also understand is you can't change people, right? So I can tell people, hey, therapy has done wonders for me. Therapy is a beautiful thing for me. It has helped me to breathe a sigh of relief. It has helped me to take some weight off of my shoulders by being honest with myself, telling myself that it's okay to be hurt by this. It's okay to feel emotional about that. It's okay that to tell this person that they're draining me, things like that. Just being honest with myself and then being honest with my therapist and getting the help that I need has done a lot for me. But I also know that I had to get here on my timing. I have heard about plenty of people going to therapy, and some had good experiences, some had bad experiences. And I've known for a while that I've needed therapy, but it wasn't until I was ready. I had enough of, just being in the same space year after year, doing the same old things year after year and being in the same place, no matter how far I felt like I got, at some point I ended up back in the same spot doing the same thing. So I needed to figure out what was going on, and I knew that I couldn't. For me personally, I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. So I know that therapy is one of the best things that I've done in the past 20 years easily, deciding to take therapy seriously and taking the steps I needed to take to actually get help was some of the best things that I've done. But I know that you're not going to take it seriously until you're ready to make that change. So all I can do is tell them about therapy and how it's helped me and how it's done wonders for me and how it's continuing to do wonders for me and help me, and hope that they get the message, or not even that they get the message, because again, it's not about that. It's just about hoping that they at some point realize that maybe therapy can be good for them too. Maybe therapy can help them start to heal from things, or even just start to see that they have issues that they don't think are issues, you know. And that was a thing too, that I was going through things and I didn't know that I was even having issues. You know, I'm thinking I'm just living my life normally, and I was really going through things and I didn't know it. You know, it took my therapist asking me a bunch of whys for me to realize, oh, that affected me more than I thought, or that affected me, period, when I didn't think that it affected me at all. So having somebody else with you to help you look at things, it can help you see things in a different light when you can put fresh eyeballs on the situation. But I mean, I'm going all over the place. But I say all of that just to say it's okay that some of your friendships may not make it through your healing process. Some of those bonds may not make it through your healing journey, because some of those bonds are were created through trauma. And as you're starting to heal from your trauma, as you're starting to find peace away from your trauma, as you're starting to find peace away from the drama, away from the messiness, away from the negativity, naturally that's going to disturb people who love to operate in negativity, who love to operate in negative emotions and being messy, and just all the things that you're trying to get away from naturally, because their negativity is going to disturb you. It's going to make you, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna just give you like a little itch or something that's like, nah, I can't be around you. It's something about you that just disturbs what I got going on. So naturally, the things that you have going on, that peace, that happiness, walking in your purpose, are going to naturally start to disturb them, because they're operating in a different space than where you're operating. And that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Let them go where they need to go, and you go where you need to go. Do what you need to do to get to where you want to be, because what's important is your journey. Understand that everybody who starts your journey isn't going to finish with you. Some people are going to fall off at times. Some people are just going to go in different directions. Y'all may meet up again at some point in time, but don't feel like just because they started this journey with you that they have to go all the way through every single step with you. Some things you're going to have to go through alone, just like some things they're going to have to go through alone. But it's okay if your peace is disturbing them and they want to move around, move away from you, get away from you, whatever. Accept that. Be okay with that. Understand that going into your peace journey, your healing journey, whatever journey you're getting ready to go into, understand that it's gonna be certain things that's gonna rock the foundation of y'all friendship, especially if y'all friendship was formed through negativity, formed through drama. You starting to heal from all of that negativity and that drama is gonna rock that foundation a little bit. But you going one thing that I understand is you're gonna be all right. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and going where you need to go, is going to be someone there to pick you up at some point. You may not know who that person is. You may not see that person. You may not even believe the words that I'm saying. But as someone who's currently on their journey now, what I can tell you is you'll find those people will find you. Y'all will find each other. And so even if it feels like you're going through it by yourself, and you're the only person in the world who's going through it, and you feel that way, trust me, those people will find you. Now, whether you're receptive to those people when they come around you, that's another thing, but they will find you, because that's what I'm realizing is once I open my mind up to the idea that I'm going to find people who can understand me, who can relate to me, who aren't disturbed by my boundaries, that come with my peace and my happiness. I started to find those people. I'm starting to build my village. I'm starting to um, build my habits. I'm watching them because they may already have those habits. So I'm learning from them. I'm learning from observing them, things like that. So don't think that just because you're alone right now that you're going to stay alone. There are going to be people that come around at some point in time to help you on your journey, but you have to believe that, you have to be open to it, because you may have people already trying to come around, but because you're not open to the idea, you're just naturally pushing them away. So you have to be open to that idea. But again, I just want to say, learn to accept that your happiness and that your peace are going to come with certain boundaries, and those boundaries are going to start to disturb some of the people around you, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Be at peace with that, because your peace and your happiness is going to remove certain people, but it's also going to add other people in who start to resonate with your peace and resonate with your happiness. But that's today's episode. I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on, and to everybody watching on YouTube, please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank y'all again for all the support, and y'all have a blessed day.